So many moments have defined KMBC and Kansas City over the last 70 years.
Including one mystery that remains unsolved.
This is the news in brief.
I'm Matt Fleener. The date was October 3rd, 2011. That's the last night 10-month-old Lisa Irwin was seen in her Northland home. Her mother, Deborah Bradley, was the only adult there that night. Lisa's father discovered the infant missing from her crib when he returned from work the next morning. He told police the front door was unlocked and cell phones were gone as well.
We just want to have her back home.
Our baby back. Please, bring her home. Our two other boys are waiting for her, please.
KMBC crews were at the scene for days after an Amber Alert was issued. Police swarmed the neighborhood and surrounding areas, but nearly 12 years later, there have hardly been any clues in Lisa's disappearance. Her parents still holding on to hope she's alive somewhere.
I love her too much to give up, and I love her too much to not believe that she's coming home.
Lisa Irwin would be 12 years old this year. The Center for Missing and Exploited Children has released some age progression images of Lisa as a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, and 10-year-old. KCPD and the FBI say the case is still open. KMBC 9 searched for answers in the disappearance of another young girl in Kansas City.
You have to start with the identity of the victim. You really can't go anywhere without that.
But it took years to find out what happened to the 3-year-old nicknamed Precious Doe by KCPD officers. Her real name was Erica Green. Her body was found in a wooded area near a church in April 2001.
There's a lot of questions that needs to be answered.
Days later, her head was found wrapped in a trash bag. Her remains were in such bad condition, she wasn't formally identified until 2005.
What my grandson had did just took out my heart.
KMBC followed this case for years until Erica's mother and stepfather were eventually arrested, charged, and convicted of her murder. There's now a pair of benches dedicated to the little girl known as Precious Doe at Hibbs Park here at 59th and Kensington, near the area where her remains were found.
This is Kansas City Tonight. The Channel 9 News at 5.
I'm Laura Moritz. When crime strikes Kansas City, part of our job as journalists is to uncover the truth. That's what happened in the late 90s, when the internet's first serial killer started targeting his victims here. John Robinson coached youth sports. He was a Sunday school teacher and a volunteer scout master. But he would also troll the internet for women using the screen name Slave Master. Robinson would kill his victims, then stuff their bodies in barrels on his farm in Lynn County, Kansas, and in a storage locker in Kansas City.
I think it'd be impossible for any of us to speculate where it's going to end.
He killed at least 8 women over the years, but the bodies were not discovered until the year 2000. John Robinson was sentenced to death. He's now 79 years old and on death row at the El Dorado Correctional Facility. In the late 80s, early 90s, another serial killer terrorized the metro. He was known as the Kansas City Butcher.
I think that he took my brother and tortured him or whatever, and he didn't get away.
KMBC crews started reporting the story in April 1988.
Evidence that police found inside Berdella's house
when a man escaped a home in Midtown wearing only a dog collar. That man told police he had been held captive and tortured by the man who owned the house, Bob Berdella. Investigators found torture devices and records connecting Berdella to the victim inside that house. Berdella eventually confessed to murdering 6 men, dismembering them, and throwing their bodies out in garbage bags.
How do you cope with the remorse then? How do you deal with it?
Good question. The prison environment teaches you one way, hardness.
For his confession, he was sentenced to life in prison in 1989. He died behind bars of a heart attack 3 years later.
Thanks, Kansas City, for making us #1. This is KMBC 9 News at 10.
I'm Matt Evans. Kansas Cityans have never been afraid of standing up for what they believe in.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Think back to the summer of 2020.
Why are you running again?
Racial injustice protests were happening nationwide after the death of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police officers.
I can't breathe.
KMBC 9 was in continuous coverage as activists gathered on the Country Club Plaza here, and protests turned violent. News Chopper 9 overhead as a vehicle was set on fire and local businesses were targeted by looters.
The peaceful demonstration is not breaking a bunch of windows at a cupcake shop or raiding through a Gucci store.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson even sending in the Missouri National Guard and the Highway Patrol to help.
Every citizen deserves to be safe and protected.
Police arrested at least 50 people in the first 2 nights of the protests, which lasted for weeks.
Mayor McDowell declared a curfew for Kansas City tonight.
Kansas City has a long history of public demonstrations. Back in April of 1968, KMBC cameras were rolling as riots broke out on the city's east side during a peaceful march following the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Several fires were set, hundreds of people were arrested, and 6 people lost their lives. There have also been several moments where Kansas Cityans made their voices heard in historic ways. KMBC 9 crews were there too.
That I will faithfully discharge.
That I will faithfully discharge.
The duties of said office.
The duties of said office.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
In 1991, Emanuel Cleaver became the first black mayor of Kansas City, Missouri. He had been serving on the city council since 1979. 8 years later, in 1999, another barrier broken as Kay Barnes became the first female mayor of the city.
So I don't believe that it will be any kind of an issue at all.
She was reelected for a second term in 2003.
This is KMBC 9 News at 6, where the news comes first.
I'm Cody Holyoke. Politics has played a big role in Kansas City over the years. In fact, Hy-Vee Arena, what's known as Kemper Arena, hosted an event that made history.
Good evening from the floor of the Republican National Convention in Kemper Arena here in Kansas City.
KMBC 9 crews captured the sights and sounds of the 1976 Republican National Convention. It was the first time in more than 60 years the convention began without a candidate having enough delegates to clinch the nomination.
President Ford, the nominee of the Republican Party for this year.
For 3 days, KMBC 9's Larry Moore documented incumbent President Gerald Ford's fight for the nomination against California Governor Ronald Reagan.
There seems to be an indication among the Reagan forces that if you people get your way, this convention is going to run considerably longer than 1 or 2 ballots here in Kansas City.
Ford was narrowly nominated and chose Kansas Senator Bob Dole as his running mate.
The peanut is the easiest nut to crack. Don't forget that.
They went on to lose the presidential race to Democrat Jimmy Carter. Just days before the 76 convention began, tragedy struck on election night. KMBC 9's Larry Moore recalls the night that affected him the most during his career.
Well, that unfortunately was election night 1976 when Jerry Litton and his family died in a plane crash at Chillicothe Airport. And he had just won the U.S. Senate seat from the state of Missouri. We were good friends, had gone to school together. And I talked to him at 8:30, and he said, I'll be there at 10 o'clock to play victory on your newscast. And 10 o'clock came and went, and he wasn't there. I never ever knew him to miss an appointment. And sure enough, we got word a little bit later that he and his family, 2 daughters, wife, all killed in the crash. So that really was impacted me a lot because they were all people I knew and knew well. And yet, as you know, our job as reporters is to go on and cover the story as objectively as we can.
This is the Channel 9 News with Larry Moore, Lori Everett, Len Dawson, and Dave Dusick.
When moments matter.
It's shortly after 9 o'clock, the morning of Tuesday, August 18th, 1959.
When lives are on the line.
I think you probably saved my life. I'm glad you did the story.
When we turn the cameras on ourselves.
One of our studio camera people said, you know, maybe you ought to have that checked.
KMBC 9 News has been leading the way for 70 years.
Born and raised in Kansas City, folks, and I can tell you, this is amazing.
Celebrating everything we love about Kansas City and the people who call it home.